Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I am Natalia Roach and this is me. I don't really have much to say. If you have been subscribed and you've been waiting for a new video. I know it's been a while, but welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. I would like to think of it like that, like welcome to the family. Please, if you haven't, please subscribe. Please share this video with your family, your friends, anybody who loves natural hair and beauty content. I'm also trying to be a vlogger, and I say trying to be because I'm not someone that remembers to vlog, so forgive me. Anyways guys, today's video is about my natural hair journey, how it started, my thoughts behind it. Did I do the big chop? What did I do? So it's gonna be all about that. So if you have been considering becoming natural, maybe this video will help you. If you know someone who's thinking about becoming natural, please share this with them. I think there'd be some helpful tips in here. So yeah, so I've actually just generated a couple of questions on what people would typically like to know regarding this, so I would just like to start off by saying that I went natural in 2019 when I was 18 years old. Yes, I was in my first year of college. I think college, everybody starts discovering who they are, what they like, their aesthetic. You're not in that awkward phase of high school anymore. So that's kind of the phase that I was in terms of me and my identity. And I'm really glad that I wasn't scared, because here I am and I'm more confident than ever. So what made me decide to start this natural hair journey? If I'm going to be completely honest, I feel like social media really influenced me and exposed me to more than I knew about what natural hair was. Because I'd go onto social media and I would see somebody posting like their hair type, or their curl type or texture, and it always made me curious, because for the longest time I had been doing treatments on my hair, either relaxer or Brazilian blowouts, and I never saw what my true texture was. I was just told that my hair texture wasn't the norm and it wasn't pretty. So when I saw that my natural hair could be beautiful, it made me just more curious. I did a lot of research on different hair types, different hair textures, and I kind of let my hair grow out from the last Brazilian treatment that I had in, and I would see my curls come in and I was like, oh my word, I could have hair that looks like this beautiful woman or this man, and it didn't have to feel like something negative. So it was honestly just curiosity, and I'm glad. I like social media has its negatives, but for that, I actually think that social media can be quite, what's the word, informative. It can teach you a lot. These people be making noise out here, damn. Okay, anywho, next question. Did I do the big chop or did I transition slowly? If you're wondering why I'm looking over here, I have my laptop. But I did not do a big chop. I actually, like I said, my hair had been growing out for a while. So I'll insert a video somewhere on the screen. But my hair with the Brazilian treatment was actually quite long for me. I struggle with hair growth because obviously doing all the treatments on my hair and not knowing how to care for your hair just caused continuous breakage. And I think as I got older, I was able to retain more length. So my hair was about here, I believe, and I had about this much, maybe not even, I don't know, I think about this much in terms of new growth in hair that could have been revived. So I let my hair grow out and I tried wearing it naturally just to see what my hair would look like, and eventually I would trim my hair away, and wore it with confidence at some point. I'm sure I have some pictures from that time in my life, but yeah, I didn't do a big chop. I had such an attachment to my hair in a weird way. I also just don't think that a big chop would have been the right decision, and I say this because I've had short hair after I went natural, and it made me realize I'm glad I didn't do it the first time around, because that would have been a shock. I don't know who I am without my hair. It's actually insane. But yeah, so no, I didn't. How did you feel when you first went natural? I won't lie, I did feel a little bit insecure because I faced a lot of let me say negativity when it came to my hair. Not only was it something that was ingrained in me from a young age, like I said, it was also something that affected, you know, like, I mean, you're in high school, you know, you have crushes, you know, you maybe have a boyfriend here or there. And I actually had a boyfriend whose mom told him to break up with me because she didn't ever want him to marry somebody with hair like mine, because her grandkids would come out with weird hair, you know. So it was very conflicting, if I'm gonna be honest. And then to hear people like, oh, why are you wearing your hair like that? You should just cut your hair, or you should just straighten it or something. Like it really made you feel insecure, really in your head. And it's so crazy because now I always get compliments. Is that your hair? Oh my word, your hair is so beautiful. Is that really your hair? And I had to literally lift it up and be like, yes guys, it literally grows from my scalp. Believe it or not. Insane, right? So yeah, I did feel quite insecure, if I'm going to be honest with you. It was not an easy journey at all. But the nice thing about younger me, and me even now, is that I still have an insane amount of confidence. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, because I don't care who has anything to say. That is just me. So it did make me look around. It made me want to look around and find where can I improve on this. So as much as I was insecure, I was also learning, you know. And I knew I was different. I knew I stuck out. And maybe in the beginning I wasn't getting the right attention in terms of that, because I did look kind of crazy with my hair transitioning, but it worked out in the end, and that's all that matters. Next question. Were you ever nervous about how people would react? I wouldn't say I was nervous. I mean, like, if I was trying a new hairstyle, I'd be like, you know, is it gonna look good? Am I gonna like get comments? Is someone gonna be mean to me today? I know my grandmother, may she rest in peace, she was the main person who kept telling me, you need to do this with your hair. Like, your hair is I don't know if my fellow South Africans, I don't know where this video is gonna go to, but my fellow South Africans know that the word kroes actually is a very, I don't even know how to explain that word, but that's what she would call my hair. She'd be like, no, you need to relax your hair. Your hair looks so gross. I don't like it. No, you need to straighten it or do something with it. I was never no. I mean, in the beginning, yes, because I'm like, oh, this woman is really just gonna be on my case. But at some point, I told her, I love my hair. You don't have to love it because it's not on your head, and that's okay. I choose to love my hair, you know. And at some point, the nerves went away, and I was just walking in the room, and people were like, whoa, is that your hair? So I don't say that I love for people's validation, but it really did feel good to know that I felt comfortable being myself, and, you know, other people could see that I was glowing from within because of the changes that I made, if that makes sense. What was the hardest part about starting your hair journey? Like I said, I honestly think it would just be breaking those societal norms that people really like pushed, the agenda that your natural hair isn't pretty unless it's straight, you know, or if it's not easily manageable or maintained. So yeah, I wouldn't really say it was a difficult journey, to be fair. I spent most of my natural hair journey in COVID, actually, because I started this, if I'm not mistaken, I think I started this natural hair journey towards like the end of 2019, so maybe around 2019. I also, by the way, if you're looking to transition your hair the same way that I did, do a lot of protective hairstyles. I know personally, like, box braids don't really work for my hair. They actually cause more harm than good. But I did like little cornrows, like just like 6 rows of braids. I did them myself. I learned. It was just something that came easy to me. I'm sure I could even do a tutorial at some point to show you guys how to do that. But yeah, I just threw them in braids so that it didn't look like something that stuck out insane, like, you know, before I had cut the dead ends off. So yeah, I wouldn't say that there was really a hard part about the journey. It was really more an internal journey that I had to come to terms with, and learn to love myself for who I was and for who I am. So yeah, what hair products did I use when I first started? I'm not gonna lie, even up until now, I'm not someone that uses a broad range of products. If I get products from a campaign, of course I'm going to use it, but you will not get me going out of my way to buy the most expensive hair care products and have them not work on my hair. The thing with my hair is that it's quite difficult to actually find a product that defines my hair and is a good price. So in the beginning it was simply just conditioner and water, and even now it's conditioner and water with a hint of moisturizer and oil and whatever I can get my hands on. I don't have a set routine per se, but I can tell you that shampoo, I use a, what is it called, clarifying shampoo to stop to get rid of the product buildup, and I have a shampoo, a conditioner, and I use a moisturizer on my hair as well as an oil to lock in the moisture. If I'm styling my hair, I will use a gel. By the way, homemade flaxseed gel, you can never go wrong with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wash my hair once a week minimum. It depends if I'm going to be swimming, if my hair gets dirty, but I don't like to overwash my hair because I don't want to strip it from any essential natural oils. So yeah, I try to do as little as possible with my hair because I've got 4B hair and I've got high porosity hair. I've also got fine hair, which means that the more I manipulate it, the higher chance I have of it breaking. So I try to do as little as possible with my hair, obviously keeping it moisturized in between. If you have a leave-in conditioner, I would actually just put it in a spray bottle with some water and just spray your hair every day. You honestly can't go wrong. My hair loves water and moisture, so yeah. How long did it take me to understand your hair? I started this journey in 2019 and I'm still trying to understand my hair. I think that different phases in your life, your hair changes, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I know people have said that their hair has changed after birth. I don't have any kids, but I just feel like my hair back then to my hair right now is very different. So yeah, and my hair is not going to be the same as somebody else's, and that's something that I've learned, and that's why I'm struggling to find hair products that actually can style my hair the way that I would like it to be styled. But I believe we'll get there one day. How long did it take before you notice growth? My hair grows pretty fast actually. I trimmed my hair in September. It was a little bit shorter than this, and I'm just looking in the mirror, and so far I can say my hair's grown quite a bit. Like, I actually dyed my hair in December and I left about this much of my natural hair, and I believe I have about this much new growth, and that was December, mid-December, maybe even late December, like right before Christmas, and today is the 11th of March. So about 3 months of hair growth. Like, that's quite a bit for me because my hair did not grow at one point in my life. Ever experienced breakage or setbacks? Yes, I do. I experienced breakage and setbacks, and I did recently, especially here in the front of my hair, and that's also a big reason why I cut my hair. Because if I'm being honest, I got lazy and I was just tying my hair up consistently, and it would literally start breaking away, and I would literally just, I'm sure I still, yeah, there we go, I still have pieces here that are growing out. But yeah, I do, and I had to cut a lot of my hair off in September. Was it September? November. It was in November, not September actually. I cut my hair in November because I just had a lot of dead ends, and I don't like to keep dead ends. So the damage was, I don't know, I think it was actually from straightening my hair in August, and I was just struggling with letting that hair go, and November rolled around. I'm cutting this hair because there's no good keeping this hair on my head, and it's not healthy, it's dead. It's just gonna carry the tone for how my hair is gonna grow, or if it's not gonna grow, basically. So yeah, I do, and what I've learned is that it's hair. I can cut it off and it will grow back and it's gonna flourish, but that's only if I continue to look after it. So I haven't experienced too much damage after I dyed my hair. I will say that, like, some places my curls are a little bit different, but it's still manageable compared to the damage I had before. There were literally some pieces of my hair that were like kinky coily that was straight, and I was like, that is not normal and that has to go. So yeah, it does happen. And in terms of, okay, I have a question. How do you retain your length with your natural hair? So when it comes to length retention, right, I honestly feel that the best hairstyles you're gonna make use of are two-strand twists. If you've got the time to do, like I said, the cornrows, as well as just normal box braids with your own hair, no extensions. And yeah, so what I do, I think the best way to retain your length is no heat. I like to stretch my hair out after I've washed it by putting it into like a couple of big sections of two-strand twists, and I let them dry like that. And then I go in and I will detangle, take the twist out and I'll brush them out, and then I'll do whatever style. But no heat is gonna be your best friend. I hardly ever use heat. If I use heat on my hair, it's gonna be once a year, and that is it. Last year it was in August. I don't think I'm going to do any heat on my hair this year because I'm not trying to damage my hair. I've learned my lesson, I hope. How do friends, family, or co-workers react? I know my family in the beginning, they were like, what are you doing with your hair? They were like questioning it, like not really concerned per se, but they were like, because like I said, I looked crazy in the beginning. I did kind of look crazy, and I think when they saw me embracing it and how nice my hair actually looked, I think they became more open to the idea instead of sticking to what they knew. It's not a big thing anymore. Like if I have my afro, like the longest my afro was, I think, was not this January 2025, or maybe even before that, but my hair was so big and everyone was like, oh my god, your hair is long. Like, and I don't notice it sometimes because it just feels normal to me to have that much hair. Like my hair's actually not even that long right now, but people will be like, oh my word, you've got so much hair, So I think everybody just kind of became accustomed to it. It just became my personal image and my brand. So it wasn't really a big reaction. I mean, if you haven't seen me in 10 years and you see a picture of me, you're gonna be like, whoa, is that really your hair? But I think everybody who was close to me or around me saw me transitioning, and it wasn't really that much of a shock. Like I said, when I meet new people, they are quite surprised, and yeah, it is definitely a confidence booster. Do you feel more connected to yourself or your culture after going natural? I feel a lot more connected to myself. Like I said, I cut my hair 2021. I actually wanted to do a curly hairstyle with some like highlights, and the hairdresser didn't cut my hair the way I wanted it to be cut, and the bleach actually messed up my hair because I had black box dye in my hair previously, so it just damaged my hair. I looked ashy, let me not even lie to you. I looked like somebody's grandmother, like. And then eventually I ended up slowly transitioning and then cutting all my hair off, and I felt lost. I felt so lost. It was such a humbling experience, and I told myself that I would never do that to myself again unless I absolutely had to, or it was a health issue or something of that nature. But I honestly can't do it ever again. But I think in terms of culture, I don't really think it's okay. Culture, race, kind of, because like I said, as you know, South Africa is one of the countries that experience an extreme amount of racism even till today, and I think it's such a bold way to not only express yourself but to show everybody that, you tried to put me down and you created all of these tests to basically prove superiority, and here I am with my afro, with my crown, and you still can't get me down. I walk into a room and the attention is on me, not because I demand it, but that's just because people like the way I look. People are like, wow, that girl is just so, like, I'm unique. And there's nothing that anybody can ever say to take that away from me. Because I've heard things like, oh, you look like you should be my maid. And quite frankly, I don't care. because I'd be the finest maid you ever had. But yeah, no, people have said some really hurtful things, and when you actually see the flip side of it and you're actually on the positive end of, I actually love the way that I look, and no matter what you say, it's not going to change my opinion on that. When you're on that good side, nobody can ever bring you down. I mean, there will be times where you feel insecure about yourself, but I think learning to love your hair and having that for yourself is just something to be so proud of, because it's something that you can look back on when people try to get at you, and you can actually feel like you have something for yourself. I don't know, I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, it definitely does make me feel proud to be colored. It makes me feel proud to be mixed. By the way, colored is not a derogatory term in South Africa. It is actually a racial group. If this video does reach anybody outside of South Africa, so please don't come for me. But yeah, it definitely makes me feel proud to be colored. It makes me feel proud to be a mix of different cultures and races, and I really think that I'm a beautiful representation of all of them. People look at me quite confused and like, oh, you're light skinned but you have an afro, what's going on? Like, I really am such a mix of different cultures, histories, and I couldn't be more prouder. I love myself. What's up, guys? I'm just including this here because someone actually sent me such a heartfelt message about how my hair journey has actually inspired them or has made them more appreciative of their hair, because no matter where you're from, I think this concept exists in society no matter what, where colorism, let me just put it plain and simple, colorism, where if you have certain features, or if your skin is darker than the next person, you're less of a person than the next. And yeah, it's crazy, because that is something, like I said, people look at me and they're like, she's light skinned but her hair doesn't really match what you see. And people will use any angle to try and bring you down, because that's the only way they can feel good about themselves. And I always say that who you are, no one can ever take away from you. And another thing is that what benefit, like, you can see, like, if I had to relax my hair or perm it or anything of that sort, you can still see my natural hair texture, and people will still have something to say, like, oh, she's trying to be like this person, or she's trying to look like a white girl, or whatever the case is. And what's the point in me trying to conform to a societal norm if I don't feel confident, when I can just choose to be myself and be confident in who I am and just be the best version of myself? Why would I let somebody else's words affect me to that extent and not even be happy within myself? And that is just my word to you guys, I guess, is don't let anybody make you feel as if embracing yourself is a burden, or it's a problem, or that you don't belong, because I can guarantee you that when you start flourishing, the same people who had so much to say about you are going to be the same ones envying how amazing you are. And that's something that I've noticed in my journey as well. So I'm just going to encourage you to be you. Do what makes you happy. Represent yourself how you feel is the best, and don't let anybody take away from it. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to add into this video, because I just thought it was food for thought, because I didn't really touch that much into the topic. But yeah, mistakes that I made, like I said, causing chemical damage to my hair by dyeing it, by the way, I trim my own hair. After that experience, I went to Take a Lot and I purchased my own hair shears, because I'm like, no one will ever touch my hair again. You're not gonna mess in my hair like that. If I'm gonna mess my hair up, I'll feel better about it. But if I pay you to mess my hair up, what are we doing, bro? So yeah, anyways, I handle all my trims because I feel like I know how to handle my hair. There's YouTube tutorials. Yeah, cutting my hair completely was something that I will never do again. I mean, it really did make my hair come back a lot healthier, a lot thicker, but the the fight within yourself when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize who you're seeing is actually insane, you know. And I know a lot of people can handle that, you know, but it didn't feel like me, and I would never do that again. Mistakes, probably also using heat on my hair occasionally. There had been a time in my journey when I had just been growing out my hair where I thought, oh, let's straighten my hair with no heat protectant, and I basically fried my curls. Yeah, it was very sad, but that happened. Anyone starting their journey, this is my advice to you. If you're starting this journey, I would say go for it. At the end of the day, you're just gonna shine from within because your confidence is gonna be through the roof. You're gonna learn so much about yourself. It's gonna feel good to invest time, effort, and money into products that is just gonna benefit you. You know, I think there's something special about getting to know yourself, getting to know your body, whether it be your hair, your skin, you know, what foods work for you. I think there's just something so beautiful in just learning about yourself, and it definitely does increase your confidence, you know. So I would honestly say go for it. It's going to teach you a lot. There's going to be some days where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't do this, but I can promise you that it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And you're going to, like I said, you're going to walk into a room and your aura will just demand the attention. It will just demand that people look at you and are just in awe of you. And I'm not saying do it for the attention of others, but do it because you want to feel confident in yourself. What else can go wrong? Genuinely. Was there anything that I would do different? I honestly don't think so. I honestly don't think there would be anything I would do different. Obviously, other than the mistakes that I made, I don't think that I would go back and be like, oh, I should have done this. Like, for example, I should have just chopped all my hair off and then let my hair grow out naturally. Like, I don't think that there's anything that I went about incorrectly. I'm very happy and very proud of my journey, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So if you are watching this video, it's either because you are already natural, you're currently in your transitioning phase, or you're thinking about going natural. So if you are, let me know down in the comments. You know, let's have a conversation in the comments. I would actually love to interact with everybody. Tell me about your hair journey. What does your hair mean to you? And if you are already on that natural journey, please tell me what has been the hardest parts. Like, I honestly think that people just look at hair and they think it's nothing like insane, but I do think that hair does make up a big persona, or like it makes up a big part of your persona. You know, when people go bald, and it's not because their hair is falling out or they have a medical condition, when they go bald, that is a statement on its own. Like, hair really does change everything about you. So I'd like to know, what was the hardest part about your journey? What did you discover about yourself through that journey? And for all my natural girlies, what is one product that you swear by? Holy grail, like you would take this to the grave with you. I'm really curious. Also, please leave me some recommendations down below in the comments on what will actually work for my hair. So I've made my own flaxseed gel, and I think it was the best in terms of getting my hair's definition to where I want it to be. But I just want to have a good way to preserve it. So yeah, I also don't really feel like purchasing Auntie Jackie's flaxseed elongating gel, because I have flax seeds. I can make this, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if there's any hair care products that you just swear by. If it helps, if you are a natural girly with 4B type hair, high porosity type hair, please let me know what your products are. I'm really curious on how you maintain your hair. So yes, the comments are free, open to discussion. I'm really curious. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna cut the video here. I just want to say thank you so much if you've made it to this part of the video. If you have, thank you so much. I love you. Please share the video to anybody who you think would be interested in watching the video, anybody who's gone natural, anybody who is contemplating. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great one. God bless. My legs.